Hello everyone, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be checking out Black Swan as she will be receiving Nova Flare buffs in version 4.0. And before we get into today's video, I would love to know one of your favorite characters in Honkai Star Rail. Lastly, if you'd like to see more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. Before we showcase Black Swan, let's quickly go over what buffs she has received. Taking a look here at her ultimate, now while enemies are in the Epiphany state, they will take 25% increased damage. Essentially, you'll be able to take advantage of the vulnerability debuff on enemies even outside of their turn. Additionally, for every 1 stack of Arcana inflicted, there will now be a 50% fixed chance to additionally increase the number of Arcana stacked, this time by 1. This will allow us to ramp up Arcana even faster now. As for her talent, every time an enemy receives 1 instance of damage over time, there will be a 65% base chance for it to be inflicted with 1 stack of Arcana. And while an enemy target is in the Arcana state, they are considered to be afflicted with Wind Shear, Bleed, Burn, and Shock. Additionally, Arcana can stack 50 times and continue to stack beyond this limit. Excess stacks will be removed after dealing damage. Damage from Arcana will also ignore 20% of the target's defense, and only when Arcana deals damage at the start of the enemy target's turn, adjacent targets will take 1 instance of wind damage over time equal to 180% of Black Swan's attack. So what's really nice about these changes, we'll be able to quickly stack Arcana and we'll also be able to exceed the stack limit, and half of the stacks will be retained when Arcana is reset. Now, as for Black Swan's first trace here, now when an enemy target gets attacked by Black Swan, there is a 65% base chance of inflicting 5 stacks of Arcana on them. Now, as for her next trace adjustment, this allows us to have an easier time to maintain the defense reduction debuff on enemies, as whenever an enemy target enters combat, there will be a chance for them to be inflicted with Arcana, but there's also a 100% base chance for them to be inflicted with the defense reduction debuff from Black Swan's skill, and this will last for 3 turns. And after using basic attack or ultimate, inflict the defense reduction effect from her skill on the enemies that were hit. As for the next trace adjustment, originally it was mainly just an increase for Black Swan's damage, but now it is an increase for all allies' damage dealt on the team. For her Eidolon adjustments, for her E2, when enemy targets enter combat, there's a 100% base chance to inflict 30 stacks of Arcana onto them. As for E4, while in the Epiphany state, enemies will take 20% increased damage, and at the start of every turn or when they get defeated, you'll also regenerate 8 energy for Black Swan. And lastly, for E6, the upper limit of stackable Arcana increases by 30, and for every 1 stack of Arcana Black Swan inflicts onto an enemy, you'll additionally increase the number of Arcana stacked, this time by 1. So overall, when it comes to Black Swan's buffs, we'll be able to stack Arcana more quickly, we'll be able to have an easier time maintaining the defense reduction debuff onto enemies, Arcana will retain half of its stacks upon reset, you can stack Arcana beyond 50, and Black Swan will also be able to increase the damage dealt by all allies on the team. So overall, very nice buffs here for Black Swan, and now let's showcase her. Alrighty, we are going to be fighting Lygus here, and what we're going to do is just use our techniques, then get straight into it for today, and boom! Starting off with Dan Heng, we will just simply basic attack, and now what we could do with Dan Heng is also follow up here with his ultimate, and boom! Now Kafka will come in with her follow-up, which is awesome, and now we will also use her ultimate here, and boom, focus on this enemy right here, and with Hysilens we will also use our skill. Kafka will come in with the follow-up, and now this enemy will summon its little friends, but there's no problems here. And as you just saw, this enemy took damage from the Arcana stacks inflicted onto them, but it did not get rid of all the stacks, as we can see. Now with Black Swan here, I will just use her skill and follow up here with her ultimate. And then with Kafka, we can also use her ultimate as well. And boom! Hysilens ultimate time. Wha-bam! Alright, so there we go. Now with Dan Heng, we can just basic attack. Kafka, we can just skill. And now Soul Dragon will come in. Hysilens can just basic attack. And now we're onto this wave here with Lygus. And something I just want to show real quick is that Lygus already has a defense reduction inflicted onto him. So we will be able to nicely take advantage of this in order to deal more damage, and boom, there we go. Now with Kafka here, I will just skill. With Hysilens, I will skill here as well. And with Black Swan, I will also basic attack. We were about to have 50 stacks of Arcana and then it got reset just there. But now we already are back at 30. And now we're at 40 stacks. We can just attack Lygus here. Boom. Kafka's gonna use her follow-up and now we're at 50 stacks of Arcana. Now it can skill. We're at 55 stacks. And now the stacks got reset to 30 here. So we're going to be able to nicely take advantage of this to deal more damage onto Lygus when he does take his turn. Now with Black Swan, we could just use her ultimate like so. Boom! Kafka will come in with her follow-up. We can just skill right here. Soul Dragon comes in, which means another Kafka follow-up. And now we can also use her ultimate here. Now we're at 60 stacks of Arcana. Oh my gosh. Attack with Black Swan. Now Hysilens, we can just use her ultimate right here. And boom, there we go. Now another follow-up from Kafka. Soul Dragon will come in, which is awesome. Now with Kafka, what we could do is just simply use her skill. All right, now Kafka ultimate time, and wha-bam, there we go. Turbulence will kick in. And we can just continuously stack Arcana here onto Lygus and continuously just deal more and more damage here. Alrighty, there we go. And we are about to get Kafka's ultimate, so I'm definitely going to take advantage of this here. Soul Dragon comes in, Kafka follow-up. And now we will take a bit of damage, but this is okay. Oh, we were so close with Hysilens to get her ultimate. We were only 3 energy off. It's okay though. We can just basic attack. Follow up here with Hysilens' ultimate. Boom! There we go with Black Swan. And now with Kafka, we can also use her ultimate. So we're just going to be able to continuously detonate the damage over time inflicted onto these enemies here. And we're back at 60 stacks of Arcana, and now with Black Swan, ultimate once again. Dan Heng did get his ultimate here. Lygus seems to really like attacking Dan Heng. Alrighty, now with Kafka, I believe we should be able to get a 2-cycle clear here. We did get the ultimate with Kafka. And boom! 56 stacks of Arcana, 59. So this is really good for our damage output right here. 59 stacks still. And please hurt Kafka. No! I was hoping Kafka would get hit there so that we would get her ultimate, but it is fine. We could just take advantage of the ultimates we have now. And there we go. 65 stacks of Arcana. Now we're at 72. 74. How high can we actually get? 76. Oh my gosh, more stacks of Arcana. 77. All right, Kafka's skill. There comes in Soul Dragon. Now we can just use Kafka's ultimate right here. And boom. Oh my gosh, we're so close to clearing. Yeah, we could definitely get this here in the 2-cycle, which is awesome. Hysilens can basic attack. Kafka will come in with her follow-up. We have the Epiphany debuff, so we have that vulnerability debuff inflicted onto Lygus here. We have the defense reduction from Black Swan as well. And of course, all of these stacks of Arcana nicely assist with Lygus taking even more damage when it is his turn. And now we can just finish this off with Hysilens. And boom, there we go. We were able to get a 2-cycle clear, and real quick, let's go over the builds for today's video. Most of the characters I'm using today do not have their signature light cone, so starting off with Black Swan, here she is. She is using Eyes of the Prey. Trace is maxed out. We're using the C planar sets and then Prisoner in Deep Confinement, and for Eidolon, she's also E0. Now for Dan Heng, here he is, and here are his stats. We are using On the Fall of an Aeon. Trace is maxed out. Relics, we're just using Lushaka in the Self-Enshrouded set, and we also have him at E0. Now we have Kafka, which Kafka will become a free character soon with the 5-star selector. So if you are missing her for your damage over time teams, she can definitely be an option to consider picking up. We are also using Before the Tutorial Mission Begins, which is a great free-to-play option to consider using on her, as this will assist with her getting more energy when she does attack enemies that have their defenses reduced. This can result in Kafka also getting very frequent ultimates. Her traces are maxed out. For her relics, we're using the C sets and then Eagle of Twilight line, and for her Eidolons, we are E0. Now for Hysilens, here she is. She does have her signature light cone. Traces maxed out. Relics, we were just using the C planar sets and then Prisoner in Deep Confinement, and her Eidolons are also E0. Overall, I do like the buffs that Black Swan did receive, being able to have an easier time maintaining the defense reduction debuff on enemies, being able to fully take advantage of the vulnerability debuff from Epiphany even outside of an enemy's turn, having an easier time stacking Arcana, and also being able to retain Arcana stacks. Our team was able to nicely detonate the damage over time inflicted onto enemies, and then of course when it was the enemy's turn, they would take a nice amount of damage from the Arcana inflicted onto them. I'd love to know what you all think of Black Swan's changes, if you are a fan, and also if you did enjoy today's video, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.